All right, we got Steve Forbes here, Forbes Media CEO. We got Patrick Murphy, the former U.S. Undersecretary of the Army, former Pennsylvania Congressman, Wharton professor. Guys, welcome to both of you. Let me get your take on Donald Trump, Steve Forbes, and his debate performance, lack of performance, some say even the president's fans, for him. And Donald Trump might not be interested in a second debate. It's still a ways to go, but what do you think?
Well, first of all, as Karl Rove has pointed out, there's 11 weeks between this debate and the second debate. Usually in a campaign, you have 1 or 2 weeks, so the impression you leave doesn't linger. You can change it. This case is going to be around for 3 months. And I think reporters more and more are going to really not give him a pass when they ask a question. He's got to go beyond yes or no. And so in another debate, I think Trump will be ready with more specific things on taxes, on statistics about his administration versus the Biden administration, so people can see the substance. And so I think he'll be ready to unroll that in a second debate and say, for example, on inflation, 1.5% when I left office. It peaked at 9+% within a year and a half after your spending binge, and things like that. Contrasted, more vivid contrast, and Biden cannot open his mouth the way he did in that debate, looking in the Netherlands.
Yeah, well, that's me every day. But
hardly.
Let me ask you. We mentioned the president, and there are a lot of people in your party are saying, you know, we've got to swap him out. That's easier said than done, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. In the Pentagon, we used to say that amateurs talk strategy, experts talk logistics.
And the rest read prompters. It is true, right?
No,
I mean,
right.
it's easier said than done.
Yeah, and if you, I mean, listen, I get it. We're 68 days from the convention, but the reality of it is in states like Wisconsin, Nevada, it's almost impossible to take someone off the ballot unless, unfortunately, they die, right? And it's just not going to happen. So, you know, to me, there is no doubt that President Biden last night, he stumbled putting in the words what he's put into action these last 3.5 years, Neil. When I woke up this morning in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, the sun was shining, the stock market was at a record high, the 15.6 million new jobs, where American people getting back to work, we're still there. But it wasn't a good look last night, but I'll tell you, to Steve's point, we're going to see round 2 in this epic rematch in September, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rally today.
Yeah, the second Ollie Frazier fight was a good fight, right? I mean, dating myself here.
Well, I'm from Philly, so Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe was our guy.
There you go.
So, yeah.
I hear it. But, you know, one other thing that occurs to me, Steve, on this whole issue, get rid of him, not get rid of him, and replace him with whom, right? I mean, as far as I know, Governor Newsom, Kamala Harris, the vice president, they're not exactly lighting up the polling charts either. So you could go from the frying pan into the fire here. I mean, is it just a tough haul for Democrats this November, or is this like a one-off? You know, presidents make mistakes in debates. You move on. Look at Ronald Reagan, came back after that dismal performance in the opening debate. Walter Mondale joked his way with a great quip, and the rest was history. So there is the possibility the president rewrites himself, but again, easier said than done.
Much harder, because I'm surprised the campaign made so much. We had 16 experts there, cabinet officers, priming him. He spent days and days and days.
Do you think he was overfilled with this stuff? And right?
That could be. That could be. But he then goes out there and falters and abandons openings. Trump gave him plenty of openings, and he didn't take advantage of it. So I think that's a real problem. And some people are saying they pushed him out there as a Hail Mary, hoping he could do there what he did in the State of the Union. But as we all know, you don't have prompters in a debate, and you're not going to have prompters in the second debate. So even if he tries to sharpen it up, I think people have that impression. It's going to last for 11 weeks. And in this rally, is he going to do it off the cuff? Maybe a few words, but he's going to have that prompter there, and that's going to remind people this guy can't do it alone. And so in terms of doing it, rules can be changed. Laws can be changed, as we saw in 2000, if you have a new candidate coming on. And the new candidate, I think, is going to be an obscure governor that has nothing to do with Washington. I don't think it'd be Newsom, maybe the governor of Kentucky, or Scheer, or somebody like that.
That's interesting.
A Democrat in a red state or something like that. So you have a fresh slate.
Yeah. Well, you know, Pat, I'm not a fan of playing video, and I don't on any of my shows of the president stumbling downstairs or tripping and falling, because I do it so often myself. But I think there was a difference with
my wife makes sure I don't have video in the house.
I know, yeah, you don't want that. And so I don't like doing that, because I think it's cruel and mean, and I don't think it's necessary. But there's a difference in a debate where it's your cognitive skills that are on display, or lack thereof, or the perception of the lack thereof. And that was played out for the world to see. And that's a hard thing to unsee. Very different from tripping on stairs or tripping, period. Right?
No doubt.
And I'm wondering if that is the distinction here and the difference here. And does it worry you that people who had heard about some of these incidents with Joe Biden hadn't paid attention, then they saw it last night, or the trouble thinking of the right words and phrases, et cetera? Does this stick around a little longer than we thought?
Yeah, listen, I used to try cases, and it's about primacy and recency, right? So, of course, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, the president did not have a good look last night, in the beginning especially, but he did get stronger as that debate went on the whole 90 minutes, right? And so I do think that folks who tuned in the whole 90 minutes, which majority of Americans and majority of American voters did not tune in, but they're going to read about it today. And I think people have questions about it, but I don't think that most Democrats they're not going to abandon ship. They're not going to talk about Gretchen Whitmer. I mean, there's a new generation of Democrats
that
are ready.
approach Biden though and say, for the good of the country at all, or they talk to Jill and they say, we're just really worried here. Now the history on that, to your point, it's a little dicey. The party doesn't regroup and suddenly look really strong. In 1980, it wasn't working for Carter after the
Ted Kennedy, right.
threat. Right. So I get that, but what do you think of that?
I do think that people like former President Obama, Nancy Pelosi, will approach Biden and say, hey, listen, and they're withholding judgment or comments until after the rally today. I do think that's why you saw Joe Biden last night at the Waffle House. You saw him, you're going to see him today in Raleigh, North Carolina. We should have saw that Joe Biden, he should have spoke to Fox after the Super Bowl last year and other things like that.
Yes, you're right.
He didn't. But I do think that the pucker factor is up, Neil. I think that the president and only President Biden will be able to step up. He is a fighter his whole life. He stumbled last night, no doubt. He stumbled in the past. He has a speech impediment and other things, right?
Right.
But he has time and time again stood back up, showed that grit, and more importantly, showed his heart for the American people. And I think that's the contrast in this race.
All right, they can't overhit him, to Steve's point, with all the books and research. They did that to Reagan in the first debate, right?
They did in the first debate.
And finally said, let Reagan be Reagan, right?
But I think in the second debate, if that comes in September between the two of them, I think you're going to see a lot more substance and contrast between the policies, the regulations that they've done, following the Constitution, all that kind of stuff. I think you're going to have the meat there. And I don't think Biden's going to be up to have his meat match Donald Trump's meat.
Right,
record of the first term, record of his first term. But anyway, we'll all be experts soon enough.
It's a family show, Steve. All right, I want to thank you very much, Patrick. Great seeing you. And I'm dealing with the lawyers right now calling on line 3.